I had two meetings with regards to 1MDB this afternoon. The first meeting was with the Board of Directors, Dato' Nur Asman Ayub and Dato' Kamal Muhammad Ali. The second was with the President of 1MDB, Arul Kanda, was accompanied by the former CFO Asmi Tahir and the former General Counsel Ivan Chen. The purpose of these meetings was to determine the financial status of 1MDB, especially with regards to its ability to repay and service its debts obligations. The directors of 1MDB confirmed that 1MDB was insolvent and was unable to repay its debts. The former CFO, Asmi Tahir, has also written to MOF in March 2018 to state that 1MDB will not be able to service its interest due in April and May 2018. However, Arul Kanda, when asked, highlighted that he is on garden leave until the end of his contract in June 2018. Therefore, he claimed that he is in the dark as to the financial situation of the company. I then asked the Board of Directors as to what had happened to the $940 million worth of investment units previously held with BSI Bank, Singapore, as well as the $1.56 billion worth of overseas investment funds belonging to 1MDB Global Investments Limited. Together, these investments are worth purportedly 9.8 billion ringgit, which if redeemed would be more than sufficient to meet 1MDB's financial obligations for the next few years. The Board of Directors would be supplying the Ministry with the 1MDB board meeting minutes, management accounts, and all other documents and letters issued by the government, including the previous finance minister, claimed that they have repeatedly disputed the value and even the existence of these investments during the monthly board meetings. This is because the 1MDB management has repeatedly failed to supply the board with any evidence over the existence of these investments over the past 2 years. Dato' Kamal Muhammad Ali called these 1MDB investments a scam. This is from the director of 1MDB. Separately, Asmi Tahir responded that these investments existed even though BSI Bank was wound up. He gave the unbelievable excuse that the fund managers refused to communicate with 1MDB in writing because of the ongoing investigations by the United States Department of Justice. Arul Kanda, on the other hand, claimed that all financial matters were handled strictly by the company CFO, and he is absolutely uncertain as to what the value of these investments are or whether they even exist in the first place. It is completely unbelievable that a highly paid and experienced investment banker can be so irresponsibly clueless as to not know whether 9.8 billion ringgit worth of investments are even real or exist. Arul Kanda's response was shocking and preposterous because prior to the change of government, he toured the country campaigning in the elections, preaching the financial viability of 1MDB and the soundness of its investments. In fact, Arul is today singing a completely different tune from the song he sang to the Public Accounts Committee as recorded in the Parliamentary Hansard. I found Arul Kanda to be utterly dishonest and untrustworthy, and instructed the legal advisors to the Ministry of Finance to review his position as the president of 1MDB. I have instructed the Ministry of Finance to take steps to appoint Pricewaterhouse to conduct a special position audit and review of 1MDB so that Malaysians would know the true financial state of affairs in 1MDB. We would then be able to determine the cost of the shenanigans to the taxpayers. We will submit the PwC report to the 1MDB Special Committee set up by the Prime Minister once it is completed. Now, I'd just like to add this. Number one, if the 9.8 billion ringgit worth of investments were still available, then the government of Malaysia would not need to fork out 7 billion ringgit to pay the debts of 1MDB. And this is what we have paid to date. We are going to pay another 954 million ringgit this year. 145 million ringgit by the end of 30th of May. Correct, right? The CDS. And the remainder end of the year. That's number one. Number two, apparently, one NDB from the 1st of January or from this year onwards had only one employee, which is Arul Kanda. For a company of this magnitude that had borrowed so much money, they had only one employee, which is the CEO, and he is on garden leave. I find that very hard to believe. We have also instructed that it is, I think, time for us to take over the offices of one NDB, and we have instructed Ministry of Finance officials to take possession of the building as shareholders, and the General Counsel has agreed, and he is handing over the keys to our possession. We hope that all the documents are still in place. But as I mentioned earlier, the board of directors, which now comprises only of 2 directors, because the chairman has resigned, or the chairman is not available and is expected to resign. They have indicated that they will be furnishing all documents to the ministry, including letters issued by the Minister of Finance himself. Are there any questions?
Can you further explain the insolvent things, because you used the
No, the board of directors, the 2 directors came because the 3rd director is not available. They said that when they became a director, that was 2016.
Yes.
2016. When they were directors in 2016, the company was already insolvent.
Officially or?
No, it was insolvent because at that time they said that the company had losses of around 500 million ringgit. It was no longer effectively a going concern. It was already insolvent.
So at this point, it's unclear whether one MDB has the ability to pay up.
No, the reason we call one NDB to come is because I have to sign the authorization to pay debts on behalf of one NDB of 143 million ringgit. I have to pay 143 million ringgit by the end of this month. So I was shocked that the first document I signed is to pay debts of one MDB, and I refuse to sign unless I see all the relevant documents. So the first, I think, requirement is that one NDB must write to the federal government saying they cannot pay. Then we will be required to pay, because this is a back-to-back guarantee. If one NDB cannot pay, then the federal government has to pay. So we have no choice. The state will have to pay, because we have no choice. So in this case, the state party is the Malaysian government. So Malaysian government will have to pay, and in order to make sure that this is done properly, we require one NDB to write a letter to the federal government saying that they are unable to pay. And to do that, as I said just now, there's only one employee in one NDB at the moment, and that is Arul Kanda. And we have not received any letter. He's on garden leave, whatever that means.
So are they going to write the letter since he is on?
He's instructed to write the letter to say whether one NDB can pay or cannot pay. So that instruction has been issued to him.
So at this moment, it is not clear that whether he will be writing the letter soon or.
Let us. Well, the instruction has been issued to him.
What about dakwaan kata yang Puan MDB sebelum ni dah pindahkan semua aset mereka kepada MOF. So yang MOF bayar tu sebenarnya adalah duit.
Ini aset asalnya datang daripada MOF. So MOF pindah aset kepada itu Wan NDB dengan harga yang sangat rendah. Lepas dia pindah balik. So apa bezanya? Ini macam tangan kiri pergi ke tangan kanan. Ini satu permainan saja supaya dapat mengaburkan mata rakyat Malaysia tentang wang yang begitu besar yang telah dirompak daripada rakyat Malaysia. Jangan lupa bahawa pihak kerajaan persekutuan telah membayar sehingga sekarang hampir 7 bilion ringgit. Dan kita terpaksa bayar sebanyak 954 juta lagi pada tahun ini. So itu satu malapetaka kerana tolong bayangkan sekiranya 7 bilion ringgit ini yang telah dibayar boleh digunakan untuk rakyat Malaysia. Saya rasa ramai yang akan dapat faedah. Ini semua kerana satu syarikat 1MDB. Dan itulah sebabnya kita panggil beliau untuk datang. Arul Kanda untuk datang jelas. Tapi saya tengok sikapnya, saya rasa apa yang kita sebut macam dia tak ada sebarang perasaan dia ada bersalah kerana paksa kerajaan Malaysia bayar 7 bilion ringgit bagi 1MDB. Dan ini semua rakyat tak tahu. Hanya sekarang bila ada pertukaran kerajaan, baru kami tahu, baru rakyat tahu. Dan kita dedakan ini kerana rakyat berhak tahu keadaan sebenarnya. Dan apa yang Tun Dr. M sebut adalah betul. Memang ini adalah satu kleptokrasi dan perumpakan penyangak besar-besaran paling besar dalam sejarah dunia.
What about the investment units that was mentioned?
Now he says that he doesn't know whether it exists or not. He cited some documents in 2014, but he doesn't know,
Wait,
which
so
is
Arul
ridiculous.
Kanda said he doesn't know whether the investment units exist. He doesn't know. He's not sure.
It's ridiculous, preposterous. Yeah.
Timeline to write the letter.
Oh, saya bagi instruction kerana kita kena buat bayaran sebelum 30 Mei ini. So tentulah sebagai prosedur dia harus maklumkan kepada kerajaan persekutuan bahawa 1MDB tak ada wang untuk bayar. Tapi memang jelas 1MDB tak ada wang. Dia mesti buat dengan segera.
Maybe if he doesn't send the letter, will you still pay? Or?
Can I answer that later? Okay. Right.
Boleh komen kasar peruntukan apa yang ni apa persen yang boleh belajar?
Itu yang kita telah terima arahan untuk stabilkan harga minyak daripada Tun Ahmad Berhad Perdana Menteri. Saya rasa untuk dapat maklumat lanjut, bolehkah saya buat kenyataan besok supaya kita boleh bagi. Dan anda semua nak buka puasa.
Okey.
Kita tolong.
Terima kasih.
Baik, terima kasih semua.
Thank you so much.
Baik.